Logic versus
Emotion.
magic.
Yeah, magic, emotion. That's what we're going to be talking about today, isn't it?
Sometimes the logical mind, conscious mind, can take over, but usually it's the unconscious, isn't it?
And the unconscious is kind of like the
leader.
emotional, the
Yeah.
leader.
Well, that's what we're going to be talking about in Get Real with the
English
English Sisters. In today's podcast,
Yeah.
please do follow us.
Please follow us, and if you like this podcast, kind of, tell your friends about it if it makes you feel better in any way, because it helps us grow and it kind of helps us give meaning to this podcast, which is, what we really want to do. We really do want to help, even just one of you out there, if you are feeling anxious or a bit stuck in your life, or
we want to help you learn how to give you the tools to learn how to manage your emotions, but like in a kind, friendly way, without being
just
like,
as if you're here with us,
like what we would do in a
chatting.
normal conversation.
Yeah, you come over, you have a cup of tea with us, and we're just like, we don't want to be your therapists. We really want to be your friend in this podcast and give you some friendly advice with our knowledge, because we do have so many years of knowledge that it's kind of, sometimes we think it's selfish to keep it for ourselves, don't we? So hopefully we'll make you laugh, and we'll help you. We'll be able to share some of our
the thing is that
experience with you.
The thing is that if you do take a few moments to like give us a review as well, it does really help us.
Well, it helps us stay motivated, because, guys, we're here, we're podcasting, and sometimes, we are getting more and more response.
Yes.
We hit the Vietnam top charts, which we thought, wonderful, Vietnam, we love you if you're listening. Thank you so much. It's a great honor to think that people all over the world are actually listening to us. But, do say hi.
And
so
also,
that we
think with the topic of emotion and logic, because sometimes our logic says, should we be doing this? Because obviously we've been doing this for a year and a half, and, it doesn't really make us an income as such, does it?
There is no income.
There's no income, so it's just from the
emotion,
from the
heart.
Emotional side that thinks, yes, we should be sharing our knowledge. We want to connect with you. We want to share.
I think we do have this need to actually connect to, to you, to real people out there. We really want to connect. So this is probably our way of connecting.
Giving back, I think, of giving our knowledge and our experience as humans.
And our love, because we do have so much love to give. I don't believe that your heart can only contain a certain amount of love. That's not true. I don't think it's true. I think it's elastic.
Also, because the way we tell stories and that, I think, we've been always told stories by our parents and in our family. And I think that's a nice way to like pass that storytelling on, because my daughter was telling me that not everyone has this in their lives. Not everyone has these stories in their life that are like life learning stories.
Yeah, that you've learnt through families and, all this chatter.
Chit-chat. Sometimes our hubbies say, how can we chat on for so long?
Oh, my God, they do. Yeah, they say,
what do you talk about for 20 minutes?
Yeah, how on earth can you talk about this discussion
for such a long time? The other day I was talking about a duvet with my daughter for like 20 minutes. About this wool duvet she's just purchased.
Really?
Yeah,
wool? She's purchased a wool one. That's unusual.
She says it smells of sheep. Isn't that funny?
Of sheep?
Yeah.
Well,
but
it
she
smells
says
of wool.
it's strangely comforting. I think little
That's
barbars. So it's so cute.
That is.
When she was little, we used to see the sheep in the field, and they said baba. And she would call them the babas.
Yeah, I know.
And now she's actually got them, and she's 28 now. She said.
And she's actually bought the real wool duvet.
I know.
Yeah, that's unusual.
Locally sourced as well.
That's
really
good.
Cute.
Yeah, that's sweet. That's so sweet. I didn't know that. Anyway, this is kind of what we talk about, but and a lot more. So yeah, if you do follow us and you do share,
do
get in
because
touch.
We've noticed also on YouTube that most of you following us have not subscribed. So please do subscribe as well, because it helps us. It helps us stay motivated. It helps us grow, and it helps you in the end.
Helps us think. That's why we're doing this in the end.
Anyway, logic versus emotion.
Yeah.
What does the emotional emotional side of things.
You know,
And the unconscious mind takes over when it's an emotion, doesn't it?
yep. And as hypnotherapists, we do understand that the unconscious mind is kind of out there to protect you. But at the same time,
Not
so
always.
is a logical mind, you know.
Because I'm just thinking about, like emotional eating, for instance, that's emotion. Your logical mind would say, no, don't eat that. It's not good for you. It's not healthy.
Yeah.
But you're compensating for something, and your emotions will say, yes, I want that chocolate bar, whatever it is.
Yeah.
And you're going to eat it, and then you're going to feel terrible afterwards. So in that case, I think, follow logic more.
Yeah, even though normally, it's tough, isn't it, to
very
go
tough.
against emotion. Yeah, maybe that's also like kind of a little bit where addiction goes into play as well. So there are some kind of you can get therapeutic help for things like that if it's bad. Obviously, if you just want, sometimes you just fancy something sweet or something.
Well, that's different.
That's different, yeah. But if you're talking about
your logical mind wouldn't be saying, no, don't eat it. Your logical mind was saying, yeah, have a treat, whatever.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, as long, that's kind of like that's kind of a tricky one to discuss as well, because of the emotional eating. We have to be very sensitive and understand that that's quite a complex argument. However, yes, emotion versus logic in other sense. I mean, like if we're discussing when you meet somebody, that person, for example, on paper may seem to be the ideal partner. For example, now, if we're thinking like logically, we meet somebody and everything fits in age, everything you've discussed. But then when you actually meet that person, there's no
chemistry.
There's no chemistry, there's no emotion. So in that case, a bit like the arranged marriages, what do you do?
Well, the emotion can come afterwards.
So you think, maybe you can go with logic.
Sometimes you can go with logic, yeah.
I never thought
because
that.
Sometimes it can take you down a bad road if you're always following emotions, especially if you have negative patterns in your relationships where you tend to go for people that aren't really that good for you.
Yes.
Or you have codependency where you're codependent in relationships. It's far better to follow logic there.
Yes, I do agree with you. Yeah, that is far better in that case. But a lot of the times, if I think of my own journey, if I'd followed logic, I would never be living here in Italy. I would never have ended up with my husband. I would have never had this life because the logic would say, because I traveled to Italy hitchhiking, the logic would have said no against all, never do that. And sometimes I thank Mum, who was so magical in her mind, thinking...
But she didn't want you to come here, though, and stay with.
No, she didn't, but she allowed that kind of, she didn't say, no, I strictly forbid this either. She kind of said, I'll come with you. And we said, no, Mum, you're not coming with me.
Yeah, but she didn't, I think...
I think Mum allowed for a lot of magic.
She did, but she did not condone that decision at all. She saw that you had it in your head and you were headstrong, and she saw she couldn't do anything. And she was also swayed by the cousin, our cousin.
Yeah, our cousin.
Yes. She was a bit like a hypnotist.
Our cousin Juanita.
Very
she's Spanish and
passionate, and
she had a lot of charisma.
So she and she was a lot older, so maybe Mum thought she'll be okay.
Yeah, I was 17. My cousin Juanita
but there,
was
my
actually
logic was I was really
25.
quite angry with you there.
You were very logical.
Yeah.
When you were younger, I think you've always been a lot more logical than I have.
Yeah.
Actually, yes, I do think, if anything, it could be me, the heart, and you, the logic. But now, as I get older, I am also learning to be more logical as well. But at first, my first years of life, it was all about like magic and emotion, and that's what I would really push for. And you were quite the opposite.
Safety.
You were safety. No, don't do that. You're not allowed. Was the phrase that when I was a child, Violetta would constantly tell me, you are not allowed. And I would always think, by who? By what? No, you're not allowed. And obviously now I can see you were the older one, just even though it's just that 12 months older, it's basically nothing, you poor little thing. But you had to be the one saying no. I was a good kid though, after all. I was an
The
angel.
only thing you really did was go to Italy hitchhiking.
Yeah,
that was about the worst thing you ever did.
Yeah, that's the worst thing.
Which ended up to be one of the best things you could have ever done, because it changed all of our lives.
It changed our entire...
better.
Everybody, because in the end, Mum and Dad came over as well. And they actually lived here in Italy. They sold the house they had in London and they came to Italy to live here. So yes, my impulsive decision changed everyone's lives. And when I did meet my husband for the first time, logic told me that he was, because he's 11 years older, logic told me, no, he's not my type, and he's older. And
was that logic or emotion?
I think that's logic. But then when he put his hand into mine, and the very first time I felt his hand, I just thought, I don't know. It's like, that's it. Maybe I was naive and I was 17 and his hand felt amazing and I was just a little kid. And
he was the Italian, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was speaking in Italian and he held my hand.
I think you can relate, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, and he's not like these. I mean, God, I love him so, but he's not like the typical gorgeous, dark, handsome Italian. One would expect. He was.
Well, I think he was pretty handsome at the time.
He was quite handsome, yeah, but he's not. He wasn't my type.
No, he wasn't your type, but he was a handsome guy. He wasn't like what Mum thought.
No, because when I told our Mum, I said
she imagined one of these, like what they used to say in those days. She imagined this old man, like with a big belly. And,
because I told her he's a lot older than me, Mum. He's like 28 and I'm like 17, and he's going to come because first of all I came to Italy hitchhiking, and then he was very kind, and me and my cousin, we stayed in his apartment, and he was a gentleman, and
he was like a yuppie. Come on, he was charismatic. He had lovely cars. He had this charm. He'd take you to restaurants in the evening. Yeah, all these things you weren't used to.
But he was also very kind. It wasn't about the food really, the delicious food. It had nothing to do with that. I just think he was really kind, and he was a gentleman. He could see I was very young, and
obviously
he was really sweet. Yeah, and it was odd because when I actually it's so weird. We stayed with him in his apartment, and then when I actually left, he just dropped us off on the motorway again, and we went back off. Me and my cousin hitchhiking all the way back to to the UK. But then he said he knew that when I turned around, because he said bye-bye, and then he said, I knew that when you turned around, I was hoping you would. It's a bit like a film, when you turned around, he said, I knew I would see you again and that we'd be together. But when I turned around, I thought, God, I like miss him. Is this love? But then when I went back to the UK, I thought, no, the logic mind set in. I thought, no, it's definitely not love.
Yeah, but then he persisted.
Yeah.
Which would now be called stalking. Because he phoned you every day. He used to work at the phone company, he'd phone her every day.
Yeah, the fact that he worked at the phone company was very convenient for him in the 1980s, because phone calls used to cost a fortune. And so, yes, he would dial and phone, and then I would tell my mum, say I'm not there, and say I'm gone to the doctor, I've gone to the dentist, I'm at uni. I was trying to desperately avoid him, yes. But then eventually he said he was coming over. And so my mum said,
emotion won the day in those days.
It was emotion, yes. It was emotion.
They say our unconscious mind makes most of our decisions for us. That's why I think as a hypnotherapist it's very important to know what the unconscious mind is and what it does.
Yeah, when you first met your husband many years ago, logic told you he wasn't your type either.
Logic told me he was my best friend. I mean, he became my best friend. But he wasn't my type.
Then you said, he's not my type either.
No.
Yeah.
So we both ended up with guys that weren't our type at the time. They are now, by the way.
Yes, now, yes, they're definitely very much our type. But yeah, that's odd, isn't it? Because logic said no, but then your heart said something else.
But that my heart, I kept talking about him, didn't I? And then you told me I was in love with him.
Yeah, it's all down to me, that relationship. Yes, no, I'm joking. Yeah, but I did tell you, I think you really are in love with this man, with this young boy. Yeah.
Anyway, in other areas,
you weren't sure. Yeah, all right. Can we get away from this? Yes, I don't know. Yeah, in other areas like logic. Sometimes I think like in work. When it comes to work, though, you do need that kind of emotion there as well to keep you going. Otherwise, I think really in life you need both logical and your emotional part.
So you need like a balance.
Of course, you need the balance. Where are you going to go without the balance? You can love, you don't have to love your job, but if your job provides some form of emotion, you make a sale, you meet somebody, you get something out of it, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what it is.
Well, I think if you are stuck in a job that you feel that you're just there because you have to because you need the paycheck.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's fine. Yeah. But I mean, I think even there you can look for things that will give you emotion. So you can look for that smile from a customer, or that nice email you get off someone, or a colleague that's particularly nice to you, or you're nice to them. There's always, usually in life, there's always something you can be grateful for if you look for it.
There is. I mean, I remember when I was younger and we used to go and clean houses.
Yeah, we used to love it, didn't we?
Oh, well, I don't know about love it.
Well,
I used to
love seeing the money.
The money,
I did. And then I used to think, I'm doing, just cleaning this house and making it look nice.
Yeah, I remember I used to be quite nervous about it because I was so young, and I had that lady who would give me those instructions. It was so detailed.
I didn't get
Gosh,
those.
No. If she would have just let me be more like in the flow. But the first ever cleaning job I got was with a lady she was like a cleaning freak herself.
I don't think she would have known.
She gave me
she didn't trust you.
Yeah.
She could clean the counter.
No. Those were obvious things. She would say please clean the top of the toilet. I'd have to stand on the toilet and then clean the top of the toilet rim. That porcelain thing.
But that could have broken the toilet.
I know, I was terrified doing things like that. And then go to the top of there and clean the tube at the top. It was all very specific little odd things.
But that's not really part of the cleaning.
She used to freak me out a bit. Yeah. Anyway. But I mean, I did it, and at the end of it, I would get the money, and then she would give me the feedback. Well, it did teach me how to clean thoroughly. That's for sure.
How to clean had to be in a job where you get feedback from.
Gosh, yeah, I used to be quite scared of her. She would leave feedback in note form, as well. It was all written down.
We didn't get any of that.
No,
I went to work for her. I didn't get any of that.
Well, maybe you were better. Or were you the first one?
I can't remember.
Maybe you were a better cleaner than I was. Because maybe I was younger and I would just go zapping around. Hoovering. I was only 16. But God knows what I was up to. But I used to think I did a fairly good job.
Yeah.
But anyway.
I used to like cleaning the offices when I was 14. We used to go and clean offices. IBM, I used to think it was very posh.
Yeah, we used to like that, didn't we? Yeah, with those big hoovers. They gave us these industrial hoovers. They were massive.
They were so tidy and clean.
Yes,
and industrial order.
Yeah, order. I used to enjoy that order part. Yeah, each little cubicle, done.
Really
done.
Cute.
Yeah, it was cute. Then you'd finish one. So even that could have seemed like the worst job ever.
Yeah. Because other girls our age were kind of working in shops and things, a bit more glamorous.
But don't you think that also is where the magic that like what I was saying, our mum would transmit to us, because she was quite jolly as well, even when she had to do...
Yeah, she would be jolly about doing things like that. But I don't think she would transmit that much. I just think we used to like going because we used to think they were kind of posh, because our house wasn't like that.
No, yeah.
And it was nice and new. The
It
new
was all
desks,
new,
everything
yeah.
smelled nice. I remember the carpets used to smell like new.
Yeah,
All the, you know,
yeah, I remember
the
that.
little bins.
Do you remember the
emptying
computers
the bins,
there?
the
They were massive.
computers, the like all the little, like they used to have those in IBM. They used
Stationery.
to have those. They used to have those cards that they would put into the binary code.
Oh yeah, they were interesting.
I used to see them, and I used to like kind of still want to play with them.
We wanted to play with them. We did. I used to.
I went like if they were any in the bin or something.
In the
I'd
waste
take them
bin, we
home.
would take them home. We would play with
And
them.
I
Then
used
we
to
would
play with
pretend
to be
yeah.
secretaries and things. I mean,
Yeah, that was it. Yeah,
that was like the
that was probably like in
we were
79
little.
or
No,
77.
that's when Mum used to go, and we used to go and help her. And
We weren't really helping her. We were just going along
just
with
going
her.
She was like babysitting us.
Yeah, she had to, didn't
keep
she?
an
She
eye
had to
on
take
us,
us.
yeah.
But that's what I mean. I don't ever remember getting told off by her or anything.
No,
It was
she never
always...
tell us off.
No, that's where I mean, you know, like she was kind of special that way. You know, she would make us feel like it was kind of like a little game.
Yeah.
Whereas really, what was she doing? She was cleaning offices to get the basic money to be able to help us, our family. So, you know, that... Don't know why we've gone down that road now, but anyway, yeah. Why are we saying this? Oh, because it's emotional.
Why is logical versus emotion? Because of the job. If it's
Because
boring.
no matter what job it is,
Yeah,
that's what
if
we're
you
saying.
think-
It was,
you can never be. You can always put magic. You mean you can always put magical moments into anything?
Yeah, even like cleaning. You know, you look and you can get satisfaction from cleaning. I mean,
People love cleaning.
yeah, people love cleaning. Yeah, I know. Washing,
particularly like
cleaning.
it now,
No. But it's nice. It's satisfactory as well. But like, you don't have to, you know, whatever job you're doing, it can be satisfactory. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yes. If you put a magic into it.
Yeah, you like, it's just the way you look at it, really.
Yeah,
I
it's
think.
it's how you perceive your life, really, isn't it?
Yeah, totally. It's how you perceive
It's all
it.
about perception and what you're like yesterday I went to the bank, and the lady at the bank, she had her headphones on, and she was really what I consider to be really rude, because she didn't even look over and didn't acknowledge me. And then when I asked her a question about a card, if she could help me, she gave me what I would consider to be like a filthy look, like, what are you doing bothering me, you know, kind of get lost. And my emotional side put me in a bad mood, because I thought she should be helping me here. I'm coming into her bank.
Yeah.
She's working here. But then I just paced her, and I just asked her nicely, and I had to repeat my name several times because she wasn't really listening. And in the end, I just started looking at her, and then I realised that she was pregnant, and then I realised that she had these headphones on, and that in the end, she wasn't. It was just her body language that was rude, but she didn't really have any.
She didn't realise it.
Any aggression in her or rudeness in her. Really, it's just like.
Probably just tired and
She's in her own world, but she came up.
I
My
do think the
emotional side
pandemic has
got
done
me.
that quite
My
a bit,
emotional
though.
side got me quite annoyed, because I thought,
Yeah.
no, this shouldn't be. It shouldn't be
Yeah.
like this. You know, they should have a friendly, nice person at the entrance of a bank that says hello and is welcoming.
Yeah,
But
then again,
But that did put me like in a bad mood for a little bit. But then I quickly snapped out of it, and I started thinking about her, and then she was pregnant, and then she had these headphones on. God knows why they would put someone with headphones on at the entrance of a bank.
well, she's like answering phone
Yes,
calls.
why? You should put someone on. So it got me, what I'm saying is my emotional side got me quite worked up and annoyed.
Yeah.
But then my logical side started saying all the reasons why I shouldn't be annoyed and that.
So there you go. You
So I
balanced
it out, and in the end I thought, well, hey, you know.
You managed to empathise with her.
Yeah,
you
I
managed to
empathised
see
with her,
a
and then
little
I thought it's okay. She's not really like that, but otherwise I could have been pretty angry and annoyed. What I'm saying is that if you let your emotional side get the better of you,
it's no
you can
good
get
either.
pretty angry and annoyed about lots of things.
Well, look at the rage road when they're driving. You know, what is it called?
Road rage.
Road rage. I mean, that's a perfect example of it. You know, you never think about who could be in front of you, what's happening in their lives. You're just going about, you know, in a rage, basically. So that's no good, is it? No. Do you think it's easy to kind of learn how to balance, or is there kind of a tip we can give?
I think it's
to learn.
Well, I don't think
it's easy when you realise.
Yeah, I don't think it's easy to learn how to manage your mind, but I think there are tools that you can use, and one of the tools is like to step into the other person's shoes.
Okay.
Immediately, and then just think, what's going on in their world. So that's
quickly snap you out of your
and
own
then
emotional
secondly,
state.
if you are if you wake up like in an emotional rage or whatever, then you have tools. You have like music. You can go for a walk. You can meditate. You can
So
change
if you wake
your
up
state.
if you wake
If
up
I'm
in
in emotional rage.
what, you wake up in a rage?
Well, you
yeah.
could, because you could have pain, or you could just be really annoyed about your day, or you could be annoyed about an email you've just received that you've looked at.
Got you feel stressed.
Yeah, you could feel really emotional about many things.
Yeah, okay.
So
when you wake up
tools.
and you feel emotional, there are things you can do to
logical
reset.
things that you can reset your mind and reset your day, basically.
Yeah, that's so true. You can listen to a nice piece of music, or
there's lots of things you can do.
Yeah, take a lovely deep breath and sort of begin to sort of ground yourself a little bit. And it's so easy to do, really, isn't it? You just realise where you are.
I think it's easy to do if you have
the tools.
Like if you're listening to this podcast, you're obviously a person that's interested in mental health and well-being and anxiety relief.
Yeah.
So you will already be well on the way. But I think the largest thing that's been underestimated, there is a massive mental health crisis now after the pandemic.
Yeah.
And it's been so mental health is something that's been so underestimated.
For so many years.
If you have a pain in your elbow, you'll immediately go and get it seen to.
I know.
If you have a pain anywhere else, you'll wonder what it is and go and get it seen to. But when you have a emotional pain, you're just expected to cope with it, like as if it's just a normal thing, without really knowing how to.
That's sad,
to have
isn't
any
it?
Tools, yeah.
Yeah, that's sad because there is so much help available, and it can really change your life if you do get help.
Yeah, and you wouldn't say it was a
quickly.
Waste of money, would? If you if you loved,
I wish
if you loved a jacket or something you really wanted to buy, you would go and buy it. But then when it's something to do, if you have a pain in your mind, a lot of the time you're not willing to spend the money on getting it fixed because you think it's just useless, but it's not useless. It can really change your life really quickly.
There's an underlying belief that these things maybe don't work in some people, or that, like what you were saying, it's a waste of money and I don't need it and I don't really believe in it. But then I think when you actually do go, if you just taking the first step, isn't it? And then you realise, wow, this is actually helping me. It helps you in so many different areas of your life as well. So yeah, definitely. Sometimes if it's a case of going to see a therapist or not, obviously we would advise going to see a therapist. And yeah, in that case, I think you're really going to have to push aside your emotional side and say, no, I want to see a therapist. I think it's really important.
Why do you think the emotional side would say don't?
They might say don't bother, it's a waste of money, like what you were saying, I can handle this. It's just me feeling bad today and tomorrow I'll be better. And then putting it off, procrastinating. We've known so many people that do that. Even very young people as well, just keep on procrastinating this thing. Saying, I'll do it later, I'll do it another day, I don't have time for it.
Do you think that's a logical mind or the emotional mind?
I think that's the emotional mind. That's why I say, I think sometimes, that's just like emotionally saying, I can't handle this. Going to a therapist, you want to add that to all my other stress. How many times have we heard that? I have to book an appointment, I can't be bothered, I'm not feeling good right now. I'll do that when I'm feeling better. Now, the unfortunate thing is you have to do it really when you're not feeling well. You have to, actually make that phone call.
I think
and
that's
maybe need a helping hand when, get someone else to help you.
Definitely ask for help. But I think it's also a bit like when you think you should be going for a walk and you don't go.
Yeah.
A walk a day can have amazing benefits on your mental health.
Definitely. And yet you can't be bothered. You say, no, I won't bother. Yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. Yeah, any kind of workout like that. And we know this because as humans, we also struggle with these kind of things. That's why we're saying it. It's not easy to have that.
It's not easy until it becomes a habit, and then you want to do it every day.
Yeah.
Then it just becomes normal.
Yeah, until it becomes a normal part. Yeah.
I think sometimes you just have to
push
yourself and say, look, stop it and go and do it.
Yeah, and go and do it. Yeah, yeah.
I think if you say stop it and go and do it, and then I'll see how I feel after doing it.
Yeah.
Give yourself a few words, and then after doing it, if you feel bad or worse, then you say, well, I won't do it again. But usually you'll find that you'll feel better.
Yeah, it may like you say in the case of therapy or walking or whatever it is. Yeah. Yeah, you're right.
You just give it a go and then see how you feel afterwards. And then, there's no point if you are going to see a therapist and you're noticing no benefit from it.
Yeah, that's no good.
Go 2 or 3 times, and then if you see they're not helping you,
you can change. Yeah,
you can change therapists or do something else. But it's definitely a thing that where action is required. You have to take the action to reap the benefits.
To reap the benefits. It's if you want to pick a cherry from a tree, you've got to go and get up that tree and get the cherry. It really is that. And then the cherry will be delicious and you feel good afterwards. So, yeah.
But it might have a worm in it.
If it's got a worm, you can get another one. You can choose it. I mean, that's why there's so many cherries on the tree. There's so many of them, and there's so many different kinds of cherries. So there you go.
Let us know what you think, and please do come and see us on Instagram at the English Sisters or at Get Real with the English Sisters, and tell us what you think of this episode and of all the episodes that you listen to.
Yeah, and how you sort of kind of live your life. Is it more through emotion, or is it logic, or is it both? Let us know.
We like to think it's both, but we don't really know because there have been many studies saying that emotion does rule the day.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to be more observant from now on and see.
Lots of love
and smiles from the English Sisters.
Bye-bye.